They've hidden this from humanity for centuries. And no, this isn't a metaphor. This is real. There's a law so powerful, so transformative, that when you understand how it works, your entire life begins to shift. The very things you've been chasing start chasing you instead. Sounds backwards. That's exactly the point. It's called the reverse law. Thoth, yes, that Thoth, the ancient Egyptian master of wisdom, taught this principle in the hidden halls of Amenti. And he knew just how dangerous this secret could be to those in power. Because the moment you activate it, you take control back from the systems that have kept you stuck small and dependent, and you return it to where it always belonged with you. Here's the wild part: you're already using this law every single day, but you've been using it the wrong way. You've been unknowingly generating more scarcity, more resistance, more blocks, and calling it effort. But today that changes. I'm going to show you exactly how Thoth taught this law, how it works, why it works, and how to activate it in your life right now. Not just with lofty philosophy, but with real-life stories, practical tools, and one simple exercise that you can try today, and I promise you'll feel the universe shift. But you need to stay until the end, because the final key, how to live this effortlessly every single day, comes right at the end. That's where the real transformation begins. Let's start with a truth that might shake your current understanding of how manifestation works. What you chase runs. What you stop grasping starts moving toward you. You ever notice how things often happen the moment you stop obsessing over them? You've probably had a moment where you were pushing hard to make something happen, losing sleep, grinding through anxiety, spiraling with overthinking, and then one day you just gave up. Not in defeat, but in exhaustion. You let go. And suddenly, without explanation, the solution shows up. A call out of the blue, an unexpected shift, a new door opens. That wasn't coincidence. That was the reverse law at work. It's what Thoth called conscious surrender. The precise moment you release the grip and the flow of life begins to move naturally again. This law isn't passive. It's not about giving up. It's about stepping aside so that the current can finally carry you. Harmony appears when resistance ends. But here's the tricky part. Resistance often looks like effort. Society taught you to push harder when things don't work. Hustle more, try more, control more. But Thoth warned true creation isn't born from strain. It's born from stillness. The universe is self-correcting. It doesn't need your anxiety to function. It needs your alignment. Let's make this real. Maybe you've had a relationship where the more you tried to fix things, the worse it got. But when you finally let go, emotionally detached with love and peace, the other person came back, or the conflict just dissolved. Or maybe it was work. You tried everything to get that one job forced, connections followed up endlessly, and nothing. Then you relaxed, focused on something else, and suddenly that opportunity reappeared. Sometimes even better than what you asked for. Thoth taught that the universe responds to balance, not desperation. When your energy is chaotic, anxious, needy, life reflects that chaos back to you. But when your field is quiet and centered, your external world realigns. It's not about abandoning your goals. It's about planting them and then trusting they'll grow. Just like a farmer doesn't dig up a seed every day to check on it, he trusts the process. But the modern mind, it hates that. It's been programmed to control everything, and anything it can't predict feels unsafe. Thoth warned, control is the root of suffering. The real creator collaborates with the flow, doesn't try to dominate it. That's when synchronicities happen. That's when magic seems to unfold without you lifting a finger, because you're no longer fighting life. You're dancing with it. Now let's talk about the mechanism behind this. Why does this surrender actually work? Because there's a universal law at play, an invisible symmetry that regulates the flow of everything. This isn't luck. It's not randomness. It's ancient, and it's precise. It's the reverse law, a paradox that turns our entire conditioning upside down. We were told hold tight so you don't lose it. Push harder so you can succeed. Hustle or fall behind. But Thoth taught the opposite. The tighter you hold on, the more things slip away. The more you release, the more you receive. It's not that effort is useless. It's that unconscious effort is what causes most of the resistance. When you're trying to force something from a place of fear, lack, or urgency, you're creating more of that vibration. You think you're creating solutions, but energetically, you're just reinforcing the problem. Here's what Thoth taught in the simplest form: creation happens in empty space. When your mind is calm, your emotions stable, your energy open, life pours into that space. Because the universe loves to fill voids. That's its nature. But if your field is full of stress, overthinking, anxiety, it has no room to move. Think of your inner world like a container. When it's overflowing with noise, the universe can't drop anything new into it. But when it's still, when you make space, miracles enter silently. This is what the Hermetic teachings refer to as action through non-action. It doesn't mean laziness, it means aligned effort. It means moving when guided, not when anxious. Speaking when clear, not when desperate. It's the power of a candle in a dark room. It doesn't struggle to shine, it just does. This cosmic harmony doesn't need your hustle. It needs your alignment. When you're truly aligned, calm, clear, surrendered, you notice things you didn't before. A conversation that seems casual turns out to be pivotal. A book falls off a shelf and changes your thinking. A sudden urge to take a walk puts you in the right place at the right time. Those aren't accidents. That's the law, the reverse law, and it's always working, whether you know it or not. But the tragedy is most people block it. They fight reality. They micromanage timing. They chase and grasp and demand. And the more they do, the more the very things they want seem to move further away. This law was hidden not by mistake, but by design. Because when you understand this, you become ungovernable, uncontrollable. You stop participating in the systems that feed on your struggle. You become a quiet creator, and nothing can stop you. So what really shapes your reality? If it's not your effort, not your struggle, then what is it? Thoth answered that question thousands of years ago. And what he revealed was simple, but completely misunderstood. It's not what you say. It's not what you want. It's what you feel is true that shapes your world. Let that sink in for a second. You can repeat affirmations all day. Set your intentions every morning. Visualize your dreams until your eyelids hurt. But if deep down you don't believe it's yours, nothing changes. Thoth spoke of a hidden field, one that lives within you. It receives everything you feel with certainty, and it responds without question. That field is your subconscious mind. And here's the thing, most people don't realize your subconscious isn't judging you. It's not listening to your logic. It doesn't care what you want. It responds only to the emotional vibration you broadcast beneath your words. It's like soil. Whatever feeling you plant in it, fear, trust, lack, peace, it grows that, period. So if you plant a desire for abundance, but it's soaked in worry and anxiety, that soil grows more experiences of lack. If you say you want love, but your energy is filled with loneliness and neediness, guess what? The subconscious creates more situations that mirror those feelings. Most people are doing this all the time. They say one thing and vibrate another. They speak abundance but feel scarcity. They want connection but expect rejection. And the subconscious simply obeys the dominant vibration. It's like trying to grow roses while planting thorn bushes. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine vibrating trust, even when you can't see the outcome. Holding peace in your body even while the world outside feels chaotic. Feeling gratitude for something before it even arrives. That's the shift. That's when you stop chasing and start receiving. And this is where it gets even more subtle and powerful. Thoth taught that letting go is the final step in creation. And not because you don't care, but because you care so much that you trust the process completely. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean giving up. It means you've reached a place of inner certainty so deep that you no longer need proof. That's faith. That's power. It's like placing your order at a restaurant. You don't run into the kitchen to make sure they're preparing it. You just relax. You trust. You expect. The subconscious works the same way. But here's what happens. Most people don't just place the order, they obsess over it. They check the clock. They peek into the kitchen. They panic when it takes too long. And that anxiety, that's what the subconscious picks up on. Not the desire, but the doubt. That's why letting go is so crucial. Because it signals that you're no longer resisting, that your vibration is clean, clear, open. Now here's the sacred paradox Thoth revealed. When you let go, everything arrives. Sounds ridiculous, right? But you've experienced this. Think back. There's probably something in your life that finally happened the moment you stopped thinking about it. That person who messaged you when you finally moved on. That job that landed right when you stopped checking your inbox. That solution that appeared as soon as you stopped trying to fix the problem. That's not magic. That's the law. And it's been working all along just outside your awareness. So here's the shift you're not doing to create anymore. You're being. You're not chasing. You're aligning. The reverse law flips everything we've been taught. It says you don't manifest by force, you manifest by frequency. And the frequency that creates is peace. Think of people you admire, those who seem magnetic calm. Things just work for them. They're not rushing, they're not grasping, they're rooted. Their energy says, I'm good, and the universe listens. This isn't about pretending. It's not about faking peace or ignoring problems. It's about recognizing reality without reacting to it. It's about keeping your vibration steady even when things seem uncertain. Because reality isn't responding to your words, it's responding to your field. So how do you get into this state? Thoth gave the answer in the form of a metaphor. He said your mind is the soil, your emotion is the seed, but your silence, that's the sunlight. Silence isn't emptiness, it's creative power. It's the space where intention turns into reality. And here's something wild: the most powerful creators don't need to ask the universe constantly. They don't need to beg or push or manipulate. They just know. They vibrate with certainty. They live as if it's already true. This is what Thoth called the frequency of silent certainty. When you enter this state, the universe has no choice but to respond. Because your field is no longer creating friction, it's magnetizing, and everything begins to organize around that vibration. You've probably met people like this. They don't brag, they don't hustle, they just seem calm, certain, and things line up for them. You don't need to become someone else to do this. You just need to strip away the noise, the doubt, the need to control every outcome. Start with one moment, one breath of peace, one clear visualization, followed by release. That's enough to begin reprogramming your field. And this brings us to the final phase. Because even though letting go is the key, what you let go of still needs to be rooted in clarity. You can't let go of a desire that was planted in anxiety and expect it to bloom in peace. You have to plant your intention in the right emotional soil. Let's go back to the beginning where desire is born. Because as Thoth taught, creation doesn't start with action. It starts with emotion. The moment you form a desire is the moment you plant a seed. But that seed absorbs everything you're feeling when you plant it. So if you're full of desperation, fear, or attachment, the seed remembers, and it grows distorted. That's why most people never get what they want, not because the universe doesn't listen, but because the field receives the vibration, not the request. Thoth was clear: you cannot plant a seed of fear and harvest peace. So before you let go, before you release the desire into the cosmos, you have to purify it. You need clarity, stillness, reverence. In Hermetic tradition, planting a desire was sacred. You didn't do it while scrolling through your phone or worrying about bills. You did it in silence. You did it with presence. Because your subconscious listens most clearly, not when you're shouting, but when you're still. That's why the ancients meditated at dawn. That's why rituals happened at twilight or just before sleep. Not for superstition, but because those are the times when the conscious mind quiets down and the subconscious opens. So how do you plant your desire the right way? It's simpler than you think. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let the noise fall away. And in that stillness, see the desire is already real. Not as a hope, not as a wish, as a silent knowing. Feel it, not with urgency, but with peace. You're not begging, you're accepting. You're not asking the universe to give. You're acknowledging that it already has. And after that moment, after the planting, comes the most delicate stage of all: protection. This is what Thoth called the protective silence. Imagine this: you've just planted a seed in fertile soil. The last thing you do is dig it up every hour to check if it's sprouting right. That would kill it. And yet this is what most people do with their desires. They plant it in a moment of clarity and then dig it up with doubt, fear, overthinking, and obsession. The field gets confused. The vibration collapses. Thoth warned, what suffocates creation isn't the outside world. It's your own mind when it refuses to wait. So your job now is to protect the field. How? Stay away from the noise. That means stepping back from fear-based media conversations rooted in lack environments filled with negativity. Guard your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Surround yourself with trust, with gratitude, with reminders of the times the universe came through for you even when you didn't expect it. And when doubt shows up, and it will, don't argue with it. Don't feed it. Just observe. Return to stillness. Thoth compared this to a silent warrior guarding a temple. He doesn't make a sound, but his presence keeps chaos away. That's how you protect your vibrational field. Quietly, fiercely, lovingly. And then something deeper starts to happen. There's a stage of manifestation so pure, so elevated, that you no longer need to visualize. You no longer need to repeat intentions or chase signs. Thoth called it the state of silent faith. This is the final layer of the reverse law, where you no longer hope it's coming, It's already yours and your life begins to organize around that knowing. You don't need signs. You don't need validation. You just live as if it's already done. This isn't denial, this isn't fantasy. It's vibration. It's what your field tells the universe even when your mouth is silent. And the universe, it listens. Now maybe you're wondering, does this really work? Can someone just shift their inner state and expect life to change? Yes, and not because it's magic, but because life already flows this way. Let me show you. A man burdened with debt, burned out from years of striving, decided to stop. Not out of defeat, but out of peace. He stopped chasing. He stopped controlling. He shifted his focus to balance, not desperation. Within weeks, an opportunity came to him. He didn't seek it. He didn't manipulate it. It arrived because his field had changed. Or the woman tired of failed relationships. She stopped searching. She stopped waiting. She began loving her own presence. And soon after, someone walked into her life, not to complete her, but to match the energy she had finally created within herself. Or the person with an illness that medicine had written off. She didn't ignore her body, but she stopped fearing it. She stopped resisting and began feeding the vibration of health and wholeness, even when the symptoms were still there. And one day the symptoms were gone. These aren't exceptions, they're demonstrations. Thoth taught in the halls of Amenti, the invisible works when you stop interfering. The reverse law doesn't require more effort. It asks for less resistance. Not passive waiting, but active trust. And here's the most important part. This isn't something you apply once in crisis. This is a lifestyle. Living in alignment with this law means waking up each day with intention, but no tension. Working hard, but not from lack. Taking action, but without attachment to outcome. It means speaking to the universe, but knowing when to listen in return. You stop fighting the current. You start floating in the flow. And then something strange happens. The world still throws its chaos at you, but it no longer shakes you. Because your center is unmovable. That's what it means to be truly aligned. As Thoth said, those who live by these laws become unshakable. Not because life is perfect, but because they're no longer ruled by what happens outside of them. They walk calmly through storms. They radiate without effort. And most importantly, they no longer need to prove anything because their vibration is already proof. So if you've made it here, something in you has shifted. Something ancient has remembered. Let me know below what part of this message resonated most. Share it not for me, but for you. Because the moment you declare a truth, you start to live it. And if this helped you and you'd like to support the channel and help spread this kind of wisdom to others, check the first pinned comment. There's a link to contribute directly to the creation of more content like this. And before you go, don't miss the next step. There's a special video I picked for you. It's on the screen right now. Click on it. It's not just another video. It's the continuation of this path we've started together. Let's go deeper into vibration creation and conscious alignment with the life that's been waiting for you all along.